This PowerPoint is going to cover the personal carbon footprint and sustainable living of my personal choices. Having to track behaviors for a couple of days, there are a few questions that need to be answered about what type of behaviors personally I exhibit and what surprised me most about my habits. It was surprising to see, truthfully, how harmful of a life I live. Very much a lot of trash, greater than average meat consumption, and I reside in a rather large house, which obviously draws a lot more electricity, water. It has a lot more needs. And both of my vehicles, my wife and my vehicles, are not efficient. In regard to the averages for solid waste, I fall right into the average as it's grown. Paper being one of the largest trash in my house. Um, the trash mostly consisted of paper, you see, followed by plastic, and lastly cardboard. Car is my main source of transportation at an average 14.6 miles per gallon with a family of four. During the period, 125 miles were driven, which offered a total of 8.6 gallons of gas consumed. Food is majority food is wrapped in plastic and stored in cardboard. A lot of prepackaged foods or even just meats that are cellophane wrapped. Um, the thermostat in my house is programmed all the time at 68 degrees using a gas furnace. All of our energy is supplied by a local co-op. I do not operate on any solar or alternative energies. However, due to the new build nature of my home, all of the lights are CFL, and the home is energy efficient in all appliances and lights. During the day, I average about 10 lights on at one time throughout the house, just in different areas. Water usage is regulated. Um, we do a pretty good job just because our water costs are so high. So we try to minimize our water usage as it is from a cost perspective, which obviously helps with the ecology perspective. Showers average about 7 minutes, and there's not much waste for cold water as our water comes from a fridge, our drinking water, which is already cooled, limiting that time for cold water. Based on the footprint calculator, the result I received from the inputs was that my personal, if everyone lived like me, we would need 4.4 Earths, which is very disappointing. Fortunately, I do work from home, and therefore I don't have to commute. And so, therefore, only one of our vehicles, and my wife's commute is very small. So, um, our lack of fuel efficient vehicles sit at home most of the time. Talk about reducing consumption. Ideas to reduce consumption with the trash. A lot of the trash is paper, as mentioned, and that is a result of excessive mailing. Um, One of the ideas was to move more bills and things to be electronic, and definitely be conscious about recycling. As far as transportation goes, the solution was to perhaps buy a more fuel efficient car or combine trips, so that way there's no back and forth. So that way, if we're out on an errand, and coming home, we can stop at the grocery store or run the errand that's on the way home instead of having to go back out later and waste more, burn more fuel. As mentioned, travel is usually for entertainment or errands. or the kids' athletics. So commuting is not factored into this. As far as food goes, you could eat more meat or eat less meat. I'm sorry, and eat more vegetables. Energies, it's a tough one as our home is very energy efficient. However, still running laundry without using full loads, and same with the dishwasher. According to an article, turning off the tap, uh, those are several common tricks at home that people can do to help conserve energy, and that also flows down into the water as well. Doing dish loads with full dishwasher and washing clothes with full loads helps reduce the amount of water used as well. Exercise 3, we look at the effects of implementing those changes. Was it successful? A few of them were successful. Being able to combine trips did help and reduce the amount of mileage and back and forth, and be a little more conscientious about how much driving is done. As far as ideas that are sustainable for my lifestyle, that transportation is the largest one that would be successful. The and which ones would not be successful. Two things would be hard to manage for my family is eating less meat, as that is a staple of our diet. We eat meat daily. We probably could eat a little less, but it still is a considerable amount. Trash is another one that's also hard to manage, as it was found that the amount of mail that we get, which is a big proponent of our trash, is just general mailers that aren't bill specific to the home or anything of need of that sort, catalogs or anything that's been subscribed to. It's all just what shows up through the post office as advertisements and circulars. So those two would be hard to manage, as the mail specifically is not necessarily in our control. A summary of these impacts from adjusting. Garbage still consisted of many wrappers, mostly plastic. There's an abundance of cardboard and paper. However, those are recyclables, and we do recycle. We only use reusable bottles and don't drink soda or cans or anything of that sort. So that was very limited. As mentioned, combining trips was very helpful. And we do travel as a family all the time. So we usually only one car is on the road. Our energy, we live in an energy efficient home, and we've everything we can in place to be as energy efficient as possible. And by reducing our laundry loads, we did do about 3 loads of laundry a week as it is, but reducing that just down to 2, it's the 30%, 33% reduction, which is significant. Also, shower times, instead we're averaging about 7 minutes, and the sink is on about 15 to 20 seconds when starting to brush teeth, and 35 to 45 seconds when finishing to rinse. And dishwasher as well, we're down to running it 3 times, is making sure that it is full. And the references were the footprint calculator, which indicated that we needed 4.5 Earths to support my lifestyle, and turning off the tap, common domestic water conservation actions insufficient to alleviate drought in the United States of America.